It's more than just your output, more than a bike. When you hear your shout out, you know it's all right. Put on your magic pants and let's go. We're cruising into the power zone. Clip in, set yourself free. Come on and take a ride with me. You know what you need to know and what's it all about. Everything you need, it's on the Clip Out.
Welcome to the Clip Out Podcast, episode 456. This is Crystal O'Keefe.
And this is Tom O'Keefe. It was a fun one to type. 456.
It was.
Yeah.
Did you?
I just did it just like that with that little flourish. 456.
Did you put your hand in the air?
I did.
Wow.
With the full flourish.
Wow.
I'm like this even when people aren't watching.
Oh, I know.
That's the takeaway. That is the takeaway.
I am lucky enough to know that.
So, it's kind of an old school episode.
Yeah.
We got an interview this week.
We do. Yeah. What a great interview. We talked to Jim Fehling, and he is a retired New York City firefighter.
Yeah, because they put them all out.
All
he
of
was
them are
like,
gone.
nothing left for me to do. New York is fire free.
But they do the entire fire department. There's several of them that get together and they do this bike 343 miles for the 343 firefighters who were killed in the line of duty during September 11th. And they raise money for people who are veterans and might need a home or might need modifications on their home due to an injury they sustained. What a very cool event that they do, but
Yeah.
also just all of the logistics that go into
For sure.
it, and just an amazing group of people.
Yeah.
So
So that is coming up on the back end of the episode.
Yes.
Just like it used to be.
just like,
Yes. So, but I guess other than that, what, pray tell, do you have in store for people this week?
we are going to talk about several changes that Peloton has been putting out this week. One, an update to Peloton profiles, and we also are going to talk about new people that are coming into the company.
Okay.
We've got a new chief content and member development officer. We have a interim CFO. We've got new launching of products we're going to talk about. We're going to also talk about who is Peloton targeting and why, and where they have just recently shown up doing business that we had questions about. Not to mention where the most recent race that Peloton showed up. We also have several pieces of news for the instructors who got engaged, who has a new baby to show off. We also have several stories about instructors, things that they are doing outside of Peloton. We have artist series to talk about. We also have huge tonal news that is related to Peloton.
Oh.
And no, a purchase was not made.
Oh.
But it's a fascinating connection
Ooh.
nonetheless. And then, of course, we're going
This
to
has
talk
been a
about...
roller coaster of emotions.
I know. We're also going to talk about all the new content that you need to be checking out.
Okay, well, before we get to all that shameless plugs, don't forget we're available on Apple Podcasts, iHeart, TuneIn, Spotify, wherever you find a podcast, you can find us. While you are there, be sure and follow us so you never miss an episode. You know, I list all the podcast platforms every week. I never say Overcast.
You don't?
But I should say Overcast.
Why do you leave Overcast out?
Because I hate them. Do you know what they did? No.
Do they?
I'm pretty sure they've never heard of us. But surprisingly, Overcast, I think, is our second most popular platform.
Well, that's fascinating.
Yeah. So hello, Overcast listeners.
Hello.
They feel very seen right now.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
They're like, ooh, I'm an Overcast listener. He just said hello to me. Good day to you, Tom. Anyway, also Overcast. You can get it there. While you're there, be sure and follow us so you never miss an episode. Maybe leave us a review. Super helpful. Greatly appreciate it. You can also, if you want to support us with more than your ears, you may do so over at patreon.com/theclipout. It's $5 a month, a paltry $5 a month. And what do you get for that $5? Oh, it's an embarrassment of riches. You get ad-free episodes, you get early episodes, and you get all sorts of bonus content. So it sometimes are longer than the main episode because we get chatty.
We do.
And
what's on the bonus this week?
What's on the bonus this week? Jim's hit a significant milestone. We've been talking about the expansion of gyms in the marketplace, and they hit a very, to me, jaw-dropping milestone.
Okay.
We will talk about that over on the bonus. We'll talk about, we got a new segment we're introducing called Douche Bags in the News.
There's so many to choose from. But this one is a fitness douchebag.
Surprisingly, this one is not political. But it's about a guy who decided to run a 5K in an airplane bathroom.
Jerk.
Yeah. And then finally, Tunde's book came out a while back,
Yeah.
and we have a source on where you can get that book signed for only $10.
Yeah.
So that's a hell of a deal.
Yep.
I mean, it's a good deal even if it wasn't signed, but signed for $10?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that over on the bonus. And you can also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/theclipout. While you're there, like the page, join the group. Don't forget we're available on YouTube, youtube.com/theclipout. And then finally, we throw a lot of links and stories at you throughout the episode. You can have all of those sent directly to your inbox on a mostly weekly basis, depending on if I remember. There's a good chance I won't this week.
Yes, we will be traveling.
Yeah, but I'll try, but no promises.
We get it.
Yeah.
Already making excuses.
I know. You can do that at theclipout.com. Okay, there's all that. Let's dig in, shall we?
We shall.
Peloton in the news.
Peloton profiles are now showing your real name,
Yeah.
your home address,
Not your home address.
your phone number,
No.
your social security number. For men, your penis size. For women, your preferred, and some men, your preferred, you know what I'm saying? Also, they're getting personal over there.
Well, it's so fascinating because a while back, Peloton had they had added a lot of information to your public profile, but now your entire name shows up. So if you have your first name filled in, your last name filled in, it's all going to show up, and it's going to show your location if you have that filled in.
Right.
Now, for me, back in the day, for people who are newer to Peloton, you may or may not know this because not everybody does it anymore. We used to all send messages to the instructor via the location. So let's say you had your 500th ride today.
Yeah.
You would be like, 500th ride today. And, that might get the instructor's attention to give you a shout out. So for the location, I always say the Clip Out podcast because unless I do have a milestone that day and I happen to be on a live class, which is very seldom. But, now people actually put where they live.
Yeah.
Shocking. And so that can show up. Now, it doesn't show up on the leaderboard, but where it does show up is on teams. So if you're in a team with somebody and you click on them, you're going to get all their information that's visible on their profile. And that's going to be their real name, their location. There is no opt out, but what you can do is go in and change the information in the first and last name blank. So for instance, instead of Crystal O'Keefe, I changed mine to Crystal, and then the last name is something else.
To Nunya Business.
Now, that's not that big of a deal for me. But the problem is, I think for a lot of people, is they didn't have a heads up this was coming.
Right.
So it shows your public information, even if you didn't want people to know you had a Peloton or what classes you're taking. A lot of people felt that a heads up would have been nice.
Yeah.
A way to turn it off.
There are lots of celebrities that use
Peloton.
Peloton.
There are. But what's interesting? I think that you must be able to completely make your profile private and it doesn't show up because I looked for some of those celebrities and they did not come up. And they were verified celebrities we know are on the platform.
You know for sure that
absolutely
Kevin Hart has a Peloton.
Or they've changed their names.
Yeah.
But people in general would have liked that heads up to know. That's really the biggest deal. So I don't know. There are people that are like, what's the big deal? You're on Facebook and you say, well, yeah, here's the difference. I signed up for Facebook knowing it would be out there.
Yeah.
And that was.
And you can set your profile to private.
You totally can. It still shows your name out there. You could still see a person's name on what they put on their Facebook profile. But a lot of people don't even use their real names on Facebook anymore. So I think that people who are incredibly dismissive of this are rude and arrogant, and they can suck it.
Some people have issues with stalkers.
Exactly.
Or abusive exes. There are lots of very reasonable, non-paranoid reasons that you might want to keep that information to yourself
Absolutely.
or at a minimum.
Absolutely. I mean, when you've had somebody send crap to your house and you didn't ask for it and you don't know where they got your address,
Yeah.
it makes you paranoid.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for all you people that act like it's no big deal, I'm really glad your life has been shaped so that it doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
But maybe be a little nicer to people who it has.
It's probably not their brand.
Oh, I am very well aware that it's not.
So Peloton has announced 2 new positions, right?
Yes. Well, no. I mean, you don't have these together, so I guess.
Yeah, I was just like, why don't I have these
I don't
together?
know. Here, I'll fix that.
Okay.
Now they're together.
Thank you. Peloton has announced a new chief content and member development.
Yeah, I was really caught off guard by this one. We have Sarah Robb O'Hagan, who
The Irish.
who was announced on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh,
I feel like that was purposeful.
feels a little on the nose.
Does, right? They
Yeah.
were targeting. I'm surprised she's not wearing all green in this picture.
Holding a shamrock.
Right?
Don't patronize us.
Maybe she's got that pot of gold, though. 'Cause
Yeah.
She just joined Peloton.
They're hoping.
Yeah. Here's hoping, Sarah.
Yeah.
But she is going to be the new Chief Content and Member Development Officer. That is interesting for a few reasons. One, this is going to replace Jen Kotter, who is going to be staying on at Peloton until August 1st. So Jen Kotter has been the Chief Content Officer for 7 or 8 years, like a long time.
A long time, especially in that world.
Yes.
People
People come and go.
come and go.
I mean, it was a very startup vibe. And anyway, so Jen Kotter is leaving, and this position is replacing that position, but also adding member development in there. So kind of signaling that this position is going to be bringing in more interaction
Yeah.
with the members. You can't help but think that.
Yeah.
So that's interesting as well. She is going to be officially joining Peloton on April 1st, but they announced it on St. Patrick's Day.
Gotcha.
So I'm kind of fascinated by this. Also, here's to Jen Kotter. I know she's going to be around till August, so I'll probably say this again in August. But she has been a delight to have at Peloton. She's been a huge advocate for the instructors. And I also feel like she has been an advocate for members. And when people have reached out to her with concerns about things, she's done what she could about those.
Absolutely.
And so she will be missed, and I will miss her.
Yeah. I'm hoping she returns at some point just because I have 45 Welcome Back Kotter jokes lined up.
Oh, I bet you do.
Yeah.
I bet you do.
I'm sure she's never heard any of them.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's not in 40 years. What are you, 100?
Don't worry, she's not listening.
That's probably for the best. Peloton has also named a new interim CFO, Shakib. Did I say that right?
Sure.
Okay. Apologies if I did not.
This is also interesting because Shakib has been named interim CFO.
Mm-hmm.
He's been at Peloton for several years in a different capacity. But you were mentioning today that Shakib has come up before.
Yes.
And I don't remember all the specifics. We'll have to go back and revisit that story.
Yeah.
But it had something to do with a person who had felt uncomfortable at meetings after October 7th.
Yeah.
Right? And after the events that occurred that day. And there was some issues with HR and not allowing that versus allowing that. It turned into a whole thing. I don't think that's been resolved yet. I think that's still winding its way through the court system.
I think so.
But that's where we've specifically heard his name before. I'm sure he's done other things.
Yes, I'm sure that's not the only thing on his LinkedIn.
I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. Yeah.
But he is your interim. So how does this work? Does that mean he's got a shot at getting the
It definitely does. Typically, the way interim works, I have this situation going on at my current job right now. Typically, the way interim works is that your name is in the hat. It doesn't mean you will definitely get it.
Right.
But, I mean, if they trust you with it in the interim.
Yeah, it's kind of, unless you just don't want it and you're stepping in to bridge a
which
gap.
I've seen happen
Absolutely.
before.
Yeah.
That has happened. And sometimes, you might be doing another job at the same time and, you're only doing it to help out. You have no interest in doing that. So it's kind of a way for both sides to kind of give it a try.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, if there are other applicants, I suppose that are like just blow that out of the water.
Right.
You never know.
You
just never know.
So Peloton is launching a line of commercial products.
Yeah, this is, I feel, fascinating. So Peloton is actually at the HFA show yesterday and today. So it's 17th and 18th of March.
Okay.
And that's really where they kind of announced this, that they are going to be putting out a bike and a treadmill. No mention of row, no mention of other products. Also thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
That are specifically built for high traffic gym environments. Now, they already have a Pro series that Precor does.
Right.
But this is going to be Peloton name brand, and it's going to be a partnership with Precor and Peloton, and it's going to be shipping in late 2026. It will be available in the US, the UK, Canada, Germany, Australia, and Austria. That is huge, because even when they've had some of these products, that they have not been available in all of those places.
Right.
So like the Row, for example, is still not available in the UK. So the fact that their commercial will be, the commercial bike and treadmill will be
Right.
in all of those countries to start, feels notable to me.
Yeah, it's also fascinating that they would have both Precor and Peloton commercial.
Well, they have a Precor Pro, and now this is going to be a Precor commercial series. So here's what I think is happening. The Pro series, I looked into this pretty closely yesterday. The Pro series is meant for places like hotels and things like that. The commercial series is specific for gyms, where that's all they get is people working out on it. Now, I realize at a hotel, when you have a treadmill, it's only for people who are coming in to use a treadmill, but you still have probably a lesser degree of that. It's not, if let's say a 24-hour fitness, you're not going to have 24 hours at a hotel of somebody constantly using that.
Even if that's an option, it's just not realistically the way they get utilized.
I've been in a lot of hotels where I'm the only person in the gym, and that's not unusual. So I don't think that they're used in quite the same way.
Yeah.
But it will be doing the same thing in that it is going to pair Precor's industrial grade hardware, which is something they excel at, and taking Peloton's software platform and putting them together. And it's so funny to me that it took 5 years to get here, because I so clearly remember having this conversation when they bought Precor.
Right.
Their reason for buying Precor at the time was all about logistics and shipping. So the focus was completely different, but I'm surprised it took until now to be able to push this out when it's so obvious.
It's such an obvious low-hanging fruit kind of a thing.
But it's also really good, especially given what we're going to talk about on the bonus episode.
For sure.
This is really, really good timing.
And I will also say we call it low-hanging fruit.
We do.
But my guess is behind the scenes,
It's probably not that easy.
it's easier said than done, right?
Yeah,
it's like
so much is.
all I can think about it at the arena, I get a call like every 6 months where somebody's like, you should do hockey. And I was like,
never
well,
thought
I
of
totally
that.
forgot that we made ice. It costs us like $1,400 an hour to run ice, right? So do you want to pay that for your ice usage? Oh, no, you don't. So, I think that while it seems like an obvious choice, my gut tells me there's a lot more moving parts behind the scenes that we are unaware of that make it more difficult than it would seem.
I completely agree with that. It's always really easy to say, not so easy to do. There's a million moving parts. If nothing else, the financials behind it, because when you have a company that's Precor and you have a company that's Peloton, yes, you may own both, but typically they have a completely separate everything. They have a separate balance sheet. They have a separate, accounting structure. And so even just the logistics of making all of that work can be a lot larger than it seems.
Especially at a giant corporate level.
Yeah. But again, it's interesting because they came out with the Pro already. So you would think that, and that was just this last year. That was new this last year. So hopefully this is, a broader roadmap that we are continuing to see Peloton show up where we don't expect them, to show up in unique places, and to get Peloton in front of as many different kinds of people as possible.
Absolutely. Speaking of different kinds of people, it sounds like Peloton's next big move will be targeting GLP-1 users. Now, before you yell at your podcast delivery device, we are
just bringing the message.
We are just messengers. Please calm down. But they're not trying to get people to take GLP-1s.
No.
They're saying if you are utilizing a GLP-1, they're going to target you because you need to include exercise and not just take the shot to lose the weight. Like there are things you need to add for your own health and safety.
Yeah, and it was interesting because they talked about this at South by Southwest, and they talked about this at the same time that they also talked about they're going to be leaning into treadmills. They're not necessarily linked, so let me unlink them for this discussion. The GLP-1 user specifically is for Peloton already has a holistic view of exercise, nutrition, all the different kinds of exercise you can do built into the system. Mm-hmm. So if you join Peloton, especially if you haven't been part of it before, you're going to be able to do everything from breathing, yoga, all the way to strength and all different kinds of cardio, right? So you're getting a huge breadth of options in one fell swoop with one subscription charge. And the other piece of that is, people have said to me, well, if you're using a GLP-1, isn't it super important that you do strength? It is. Mm-hmm. And so that's where the treadmills piece is not necessarily connected. It is important that you exercise in general while using a GLP-1. It is also very important that you do strength as much as possible, because when you start losing weight rapidly, you are absolutely losing muscle mass. Not necessarily more muscle mass than you would lose during any other kind of dieting, but you're still losing it.
Right.
And you must focus on strength. That's very important.
Yes.
When it comes to the treadmills, the other aspect of it is that they just feel that they have not set their marketing on that as much as they could, which kind of goes to what we just talked about with the Precor piece, where it's going to be put in more gyms and things like that. There are a lot of people who just see Peloton as a home equipment. So being able to kind of rewire that thought process to be like, no, we're going to put treadmills in all these different places, including gyms. That's where the treadmill growth comes in, not specific to the GLP-1 users.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people who like to use both, right?
Absolutely.
Who like to use their home stuff and a gym. And so, you might even already have a tread or a bike at home, but you go to the gym for some other reasons. And now while you're there, you can hop on a treadmill and you can knock out two things at once and log into your account and work your way towards legend.
That's right.
You feel like you're wasting it. Wasted that run. Peloton is announcing a new series. We're not entirely sure what this is, but it's called Off Air.
What we do know is that Peloton recently dropped a teaser for it.
Yes.
And it had a whole bunch of different instructors and other Peloton employees, and they were on a Zoom call, and they're kind of like talking about how they're all going to start doing each other's different jobs in different departments to get a better idea of how Peloton works.
Yeah.
It seems like it was lightly scripted, but not like in a reality series way or like a TV show way, but it had a little bit of like direction to it, and then there was also obvious improving and ad-libbing as it went through too,
like the Larry David Show.
Very much like the Larry David Show. Really good. I'm looking forward to the new Larry David Show, by the way.
His new sketch show.
I heard it just dropped. So that is kind of where we're at. It's going to be dropping on March 23rd. That's when the first episode is. Mm-hmm. We have no idea anything else about it. Is it going to be a podcast? Is it going to be some kind of TV show? Brands, that is a new thing, by the way. Brands are doing scripted shows now. That's like a huge thing that's happening. Oh. And so there's so many questions about what this could be, but it'll be really fun to find out together.
Absolutely. So Peloton's next country.
Well, we don't know.
Are they invading Poland?
I don't think anybody's invading Poland
yet,
but
give it time. Be our 53rd state.
No comment. But what we do know is that Peloton is now registered in Poland.
Interesting.
It is interesting, and we see that they have it doesn't expire for a little bit, I'm sorry. I said expire. I meant to say it incorporated on. It incorporated in late 2025, the fourth quarter of 2025. And we also see that there is a director of engineering there. So kind of interesting. Is that another place that we're going to be building things? Does this mean this is where we're going to be selling things now?
Yeah.
It's hard to know. It's hard to know. Maybe for all I know, Precor has another office in Poland, and that's what this is. I don't know. But we do know that director of engineering just joined very recently, and they are looking to increase their team, looking for a back-end software engineer, front-end software engineer, and a software engineer in testing. So Fascinating.
Yeah, we shall see what that turns into.
We shall.
Peloton is partnering with Hoka at the Hackney Half Marathon.
Yes, and we're going to have not one but two instructors that are going to be running it. It's going to be Hannah Frankson and Susie Chan will both be there. I don't know much about the Hackney Half Marathon. I do know it takes place in May. It's this year it's going to be Sunday, May 17th. Supposedly it is UK's most recognizable mass participation, one of their most recognizable mass participation running events. It goes through East London, lively crowds, and has a festival-style atmosphere. So it sounds, to me, very similar to how the New York City Marathon feels. So that is coming up, and I think this is kind of also related to Peloton increasing treadmills and really pushing on the runners, like getting more in front of people who run. And also running in the UK is on the huge growth spurt right now. The participation is up by across the continent, 349,000 compared to a year ago. So that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is an interesting statistic. Peloton says that more than 300,000 of its members today have already used the platform to train for a race. Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, coming up after this, we have instructors in the news. We're going to tell you who got engaged, who's showing off a new baby, and who got a promotion at their side hustle. So sit tight.
Instructors in the news.
Logan Aldridge has gotten engaged.
He has. He got engaged to Natalie, who is now his fiance.
Yeah.
They have known each other since the first grade.
What?
Yeah. He said in his caption, let me pull it up here. I want to get it just right. My first love, first kiss, you were always the one. I knew it the moment I saw you in first grade.
Then what took so long? I'll say what all the women were thinking. That's nice and all, but you're like 38. What took so long? Hopefully Logan doesn't listen.
Kind of thinking he doesn't.
Don't pull this as a clip. Whatever you do, now it's for sure going to be a clip. Damn it.
But congratulations to Logan and Natalie. That's really exciting. And people were just thrilled to see it. He's been very lovey-dovey on Instagram lately. So seeing this, in fact, one of our eagle-eyed tipsters / helper bees, sorry, I was thinking of your new name for them. They spotted, there was a sunset picture that was posted before the actual engagement. And they said, oh, this is for sure giving engagement vibes. And I kid you not, 3 hours later, the engagement was posted. So we've got a couple of investigators on the team.
Alex Kowalski is showing off his new baby.
Yeah, this is fabulous because when I've talked about this before, how these instructors are just having babies and not like telling us at all.
Surprise. Like, where'd that 3-year-old come from?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, obviously men can pull that off easier than women can. But Alex has never...
Because we're better at keeping secrets?
Because you don't show a pregnancy because you're not.
Yeah, that would also play a role.
Yeah. You think? Now, Alex has never mentioned on social media or posted a picture or anything about his baby. You know how this came up is that when they did the teaser for the off-air piece, one of the tiny little snippets in there is Alex feeding his baby while they're filming. It makes you wonder, did he even know that was going to be used, you know?
Like, surprise.
Or was it a surprise to the instructors? So the whole thing was kind of interesting and funny, but like Alex he just seems like a really great person. And like, obviously he wants to keep his private life private.
Yeah.
But congrats to him and his family.
Jess Sims was promoted to commentator for the NCAA March Madness Women's Basketball Tournament.
Yes. And according to my notes here, she is going to also be doing the game calls versus the courtside reporting. That is, in the sports world, a promotion.
Okay.
I did not know that. Of course, Nikki shared that with me.
Yes, it's sports, so we're unawares.
Yeah. But I thought that was really cool.
Absolutely. Good for her.
Yeah. And they put out a big press release and stuff about it, too. So ESPN did.
Yes.
So neat.
Robin Arzón's media tour continues.
It does. Yeah. She this week has been on Kelly Clarkson and the Drew Barrymore show.
Those are big things to be on.
They sure are. Yeah. And they both have cooking segments. So it's been fun because she's cooking her actual recipes while on there, or at least for one of them.
Yeah.
For the Drew Barrymore, she was. I don't know if that actually happened on the Kelly Clarkson show.
Gotcha. Well, her publicist is earning their keep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's been on a real roll.
And speaking of book tours, Samio is plotting a book tour of his own.
He is, and he has been asking for people to weigh in on what cities they would like to see him, which
Evansville, Indiana.
Which kind of makes everyone think that he's coming to America to do a book tour, or at least part of the book tour. And will he be teaching in the United States, in the New York location? I don't think he ever has taught in the New York studio.
Yeah.
If he has, I don't recall. So I hope that he does, because that's
you
just
are
fun.
Peloton's institutional memory.
Well, I mean, it's perimenopause up there. I don't know. It's a little fuzzy, but I don't recall him ever teaching there.
It's a
so.
little fuzzy too. That's all I got left.
So hopefully you put in your bid for your city, and we will see shortly where all the different places he will be attending.
Paducah, Kentucky.
I would have put St. Louis in, but I already know it's not going to happen. No. It's not going to be the Midwest, people. It's going to be...
If it is, it's Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be the East Coast and maybe the West Coast.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Peloton artist collaborations.
The latest artist series features Pur.
It does. It does.
Is that how you say it?
I guess so.
Because it's a German artist, so they
It
can pronounce
is.
it all sorts of weird ways.
They could, yeah.
They're like, oh no, the P's make a K sign over here. I don't know. Germans do whatever they want. Just ask Poland.
This is part of kind of a new thing that Peloton has been doing. Mid-month, they've been announcing these smaller artist series, but they have been specifically German.
Right.
Or they've been specifically...
So they're smaller to us.
Yeah.
But to Germans, not
in
necessarily.
German. Not in Germany, yeah. I think that's...
Germans still remember Purmania. All the kids were running around with little kitty ears.
Well, that sounds adorable.
It's crazy times.
So not familiar to us, but I think it's really cool that Peloton is doing this. I remember years ago, we had a whole conversation with Gail Fine, who works in the music industry, and we talked about that Peloton had this amazing opportunity to take these really cool bands and songs that are popular in other countries and put them on the platform and get them in front of people that they normally wouldn't be in front of.
New music too. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's really cool to see them doing that. Also, we will be seeing this month Carol G, going to be another artist series.
Other connected fitness.
Some interesting news from the world of Tonal.
It is, yeah. So Tonal has worked with Tony Horton several times, and they brought him back. So he is doing another installment. I believe there's a couple of different programs that Tony is going to be doing. So that's exciting to Tonal people. Also, they brought in a total of 4 new instructors. So Tony is one of those.
Yeah. But he's like a guest instructor.
He's a
not
guest
permanent
instructor. He's not a permanent instructor. I don't think anybody can afford Tony Horton full time.
Full time, yeah.
Yeah. And the fascinating part, and the part that's a connection to Peloton, is that they also added Alexandra Mack, who happens to be Adrian Williams' girlfriend. Isn't that fascinating?
That is fascinating.
I thought that was really interesting.
Which makes me wonder, will we get some candids of Adrian Williams on a Tonal? Since there will probably be one in his orbit.
I don't know. I'll be on the lookout.
Yeah.
I to be honest, I haven't really followed Alexandra Mack. I'm really bad about following the instructor's significant others.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I follow enough people.
Yeah.
You know.
You also don't want to get a restraining order.
Well, there's that.
Again.
I've never had a restraining order. I know some people that should have one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I only see Adrian post pictures by himself or like with friends. I hardly ever see a picture of him and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I feel like they keep their lives very separate on social media for that reason. Yes,
yeah.
It feels very purposeful. It
Yeah.
feels like they do that purposefully. So I will be curious to see. I mean, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen behind the scenes, but I don't think we'll see him on it.
Yeah. And we also had, we should say, another Tonal coach exit.
We did, yeah. Tim Landicho, which I was really sad about. Tim is really great guy, super nice guy.
Absolutely.
And he will be missed. But I kind of feel like Tonal kind of got rid of all their coaches again like they did
Yeah, they
a few
just
years ago.
did it a little more slowly this time.
Slowly and much better for optics. I mean,
Agreed.
it was rough last time.
It was.
Real rough. I mean, it's never good. And I hate to see anybody leave, especially if it's not by their own choosing. But I hope it works out for Tonal because I feel like they're a really great company. I feel like their product is amazing.
Yeah.
And I hope that they are here for a very long time.
Same. Coming up after this, we've got content, so many classes in the world of Peloton for you to choose from, and we will help you right after this.
New content.
It is time for the TCO Top 5. You have told us your favorite classes, and now we will say them back at you. Number 1, your favorite 80s ride.
Yes, and this was taught by Leanne Hainsby on March 11th, 2026. Now, that is when it dropped. I'm fairly certain she did not come back from maternity leave just to film this class. So I'm pretty sure this was pre-recorded.
In the can, as they say in the industry.
That is correct.
Yes.
But we have a little quote here from Charlie Spillane who says, Leanne's 30-minute 80s ride, she is always so joyful, and the playlist was fire.
Okay. Number 2, your favorite outdoor run.
It was a 45-minute outdoor run, and it's a run club that was taught by Jocelyn Thompson Brule, and it dropped on February 21st of this year. And Christina Ribeiro said, what are you going to do when things get tough? I loved this run outside. Chose it based on the playlist, and I found it to be a better experience than I expected. Amazing music that keeps you going, excellent coaching, and pace targets, very doable outside. I highly recommend this for those training a race or a marathon. Jocelyn talks about how to keep the focus even during unexpected. I'm not training for everything, but could transfer her words to my current life moment. Bonus, this is the class Hannah Frankson takes when she runs outside. That is Leaderboard Little Powerhouse. And I just want to say to those listening who know Christina, she's been going through a very rough time with major losses in her life, and we are thinking of her and send her lots of love.
Number 3, favorite real route.
This was taught by Christian Vandevelde on March 10th of this year, and it was the brand new Paris Mountain Real Route. Larry Wellborn nominated this class, and he said he grew up about 10 minutes from Paris Mountain, so it was interesting to hear him talk about the rides and the ride and the points of interest. It was tough but doable, and I set a new PR, mostly due to a new FTP test I took recently. Christian is a great instructor.
Number 4, your favorite rolling hills ride.
This was taught by Sam Yo, and it was on March 14th. Annie Townshend nominated this class, said, best class of last week was Sam's 30-minute rolling hills, a tough class with a great playlist and fabulous fitness-based plan. On top of that, some fabulous words from Sam as he approached his 47th birthday with attitudes to age and getting older. Wise words. That man is almost as old as I am.
Yeah.
That's not right. He looks like 20 years younger. Damn.
And finally, number 5, your unstackable. It is a long run.
This was taught by Mariana Fernandez, and it was also on March 14th. A lot happened on Pi Day. It was a 60-minute outdoor run club. Stephanie Latos nominated this class, said one of my new favorite runs was Mariana's 60-minute long run. Not only did I receive 2 birthday shout-outs, Run, Steph, Run, Steffi Run, the playlist and her demeanor were on point, like always, but there was a special relaxed vibe to this long run. It was that feeling that you've put in the work, now enjoy the doing the thing type vibes. I should also add, the Swifties will love this one because she played 2 Taylor songs, one of which was All Too Well, the 10-minute version, and she let it play uninterrupted. New fave long run for sure. Oh, Stephanie, I'm going to have to put that on the list.
Taking a look at This Week at Peloton, we have all sorts of stuff for you. Well, we don't, but they do. But we say we because it's a membership.
That's right.
We're all we's
That's
here.
Right. That's
Yeah.
right.
We'll start with a spring recovery with the aforementioned Samyo.
Yes, it is this week. It's going to actually be debuting on March 20th. So this Friday, the same day as our podcast will. It'll be on demand. And this is going to have, of course, Sam's coaching style, but it's also going to be a nice low impact transition into the spring season.
There is a new percentage hike.
Yes, there are actually a few of them taught by John, Rebecca, Kirsten, and Mela.
A focus flow for runners.
This one is taught by Zacharias and is a 45-minute focus flow for runners. That's a really long one. That sounds delightful. I'm also a little scared because Zacharias is known to be really tough. Like good,
Yeah.
amazing, but not everybody can keep up, and I am that. I am that anybody.
And an R&B Pilates.
This is taught by Greta. It is going to be dropping on the 19th, and that is going to, I think that's her first R&B Pilates. I don't recall seeing that before, so that's fun.
And then taking a look at the TCO radar, classes that we're tracking that we think you should be as well. We have week 3 of Women's History Month.
Yeah, all new classes that are going to be dropping this week. We're going to have a 20-minute country ride with Hannah Corbin, alternative rock ride with Christine. There's going to be there's going to be a different R&B yoga flow with Chelsea, and then there's going to be finally the 2-for-1 ride with Asal and Mela that was supposed to be back on March 8th, got taken off the schedule, and is now going to be premiering on March 29th. So I'm excited to take that class and can't wait to see it show up.
And St. Patrick's Day might be over, but as long as you're a drinker who loves bad poetry and
Or has an O apostrophe in your name.
yeah, and hates snakes, it's always St. Patrick's Day in your heart. And there are classes for you.
Yes, there was a 20-minute, this was live, 20-minute St. Patrick's Day ride that was taught by Christine. There was also a HIIT cardio with Logan that was on demand. Marcel Dinkins taught a 20-minute St. Patrick's Day run, and a full body strength that was 20 minutes with Jocelyn. That was also on demand.
John Hosking is heading back to PSNY.
Yeah, he's going to be there this weekend, and he's going to be teaching classes like Friday and Saturday and Sunday. They're all full. There are no wait lists. I checked. A lot.
Also, Christine Dierclay has an alternative rock ride.
Yes. Well, this is part of her Women's History Month. That's week 3 that we mentioned.
Okay, gotcha. So it's probably all female.
I would say yes. Yeah.
Tracy Bonham and
I was thinking Alanis.
Yeah.
That's who popped into my head. It could just all be Alanis.
And Sundays with Love is back.
Yep, it's dropping. This Sunday is going to be her first one back, and it will be, so that's March 22nd, if you don't know the date.
And Ash Pryor has a long row for people.
Yes, this Sunday, 45 minutes. Whew, that's a long time on the row. I like my 20 minutes. But for those of you who are good at endurance on the row, that's very impressive. I am very impressed.
And Jermaine Johnson has a 4-day split coming at you.
He does. That is going to be dropping later this month. I believe it's the 27th. Yep, the 27th.
And it's reverse week for Matt Wilpers. Think of it as like a Sadie Hawkins ride.
Yeah, he's going to be doing a 60-minute ride on Friday and only a 30-minute ride on Saturday. Usually he does
Phoning it in.
No, he's got a live row that morning too. But usually he does his long rides on Saturday. But because he has the row, he flipped it. So the long day was Friday. Saturday is the short day.
Gotcha. And finally, World Broadway Day is March 27th. Why, whoever could be doing a class dedicated to that?
It's a real mystery.
'Tis a puzzlement.
I believe we might be looking at Maddie Majacomo. Honestly, we don't even know if there really will be classes for that. We just know that Maddie is currently teaching 2 classes that day, and we hope they turn into Broadway classes.
I think he would throw a hissy fit if it was not him.
Maddie is never anything but professional.
Not if you rob him of Broadway classes and start handing them out to some ne'er-do-well who doesn't respect Broadway in the same way. He'll make that known.
He will.
Ash Pryor and Alex Karwoski have their 2-for-1 row that was on the schedule and off the schedule, and now it's back on the schedule.
So it ended up being a pre-record, and so we didn't know when it was going to launch, but one of our eagle-eyed listeners, they were in the class live, and so you weren't allowed to take pictures because there's no live leaderboard when it's a pre-record.
Right.
Makes perfect sense. So they did their pictures after, and they got a notification saying that they couldn't release the pictures until the class was live, and look for your pictures to be live on March 25th. So we can only assume that either March 25th or before, we will see the 2-for-1 row. And that is really exciting because that's the first of its kind. So, yay.
And then finally, Hannah Frankson has restructured her HIIT and hills classes.
She has, and she's going to be using the same structure the rest of the year, which means for people who are trying to improve their conditioning, this is a perfect class for you to take with Hannah over and over again to continue to work on your endurance, your power. So that'll be very cool for people.
So that means we're done here.
Whoa.
But, because there are no birthdays this week.
Okay.
So we now present you with our interview, which we haven't done in a while. So here's Jim Fehling.
Checking in with the Peloton community.
Joining us today via the magic of ZoomTube, we'll call it that.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's
it would have worked better.
yeah, it's Jim Fehling.
Hi,
Hey,
Jim.
how's it going?
Hi,
Thank you for
guys.
your patience. We're a little rusty on
We
setting
are.
these things up.
You know,
Yeah,
I
a
gotta
little
feel
rusty.
that your listeners are used to hearing this whole spiel every time you have a guest on. And thanks for your patience of all the audio problems.
We were about to take everything apart,
Yeah.
go into separate rooms. Jim saved the day.
We're about to be like, maybe he's just a blog post. What about that?
Yep.
So, Jim, you have been a longtime Peloton person, longtime listener. Tell us a little bit about yourself, a Peloton, here today.
Okay. I was in Long Island, New York. I am a COVID Peloton person. I got my bike during COVID. I had to wait almost 3 months. But I had been looking at Peloton for a while. I have a very good friend who has one in her garage who she is every day. And I was like, so you like it? She's like, I ride it every day. And she sucked me right into the cult, man. So I finally decided to pull the trigger, and it was very lucky. I was one of those people who messaged Peloton on the daily, about deliveries. And they finally wound up getting it with quickly to 1,000 rides.
Wow.
Yeah, the friend who kind of sucked me in, we have a little group called the Peloton Rock Stars. There's only like 5 of us. And we would ride together every morning. She was in charge. She would set up the ride for the day and would text it to us. We had a little group chat, and she would text us to us the night before to let us know what time ride and everything. And and it huge help with my training, because I hence why I'm here. I do a charity bicycle ride every year called the FDNY 343 ride. And we ride 1 mile for every firefighter who died on 9/11. Obviously, we don't do it in a day. You're not riding 343 miles in a day, but it's a multi-day ride that goes from Montauk Point, which is the farthest end of Long Island, all the way to Arlington Cemetery, where we finish the ride with a ceremony at a New York City firefighter's grave who died in the line of duty over battling after 9/11. He was killed in action. So we have a huge ceremony at his grave at the end of the ride.
Wow. So you guys, just to be clear, you're not riding indoors 343 miles. You're doing the actual on the road.
On the road.
343 miles. Okay, as a person hit by a car, that is
Yes.
like,
And believe it or not, that's kind of what brought the Peloton into my training a lot more, was because obviously you can't do it all. There's got to be seat time on the road. And I was training about 5 years ago and went to transition from the shoulder to the main roadway, caught a 1-inch gap, went over the hands of the bike, destroyed the bike. The bike was out of commission for weeks while it was getting repaired. Luckily, I didn't suffer any major injuries, a lot of road rash and bumps and bruises, thank God. And much like you, I said, you know what? I'm going to do a lot more of this indoors, where it's safe and worst that can happen.
absolutely.
So it's training. You can't, walk into this and do 343 miles. And it's much like a century. People train for centuries, and this is ultimately 3 centuries in 3 days.
Yeah.
So
3 days. So you're 43 miles in 3 days.
Depending on the logistics. So as you can imagine, there's about 150 riders who do it. And there are a ton of logistics that go on behind it. Just support teams and hotel stays and meals. And the support team, we ride 20 miles at a clip. So every 20 miles is another stop where you can refill bottles, grab a bite if you need it, do any repairs. And this has been a work in progress.
Don't forget.
Yeah. Oh, depends on the year. We've done it in freezing cold weather. We've done it in pouring rain. More than want to talk about ever again. And we've extreme heat. And there are years where you say peeing. Yeah, I think once the entire day because you're just sweating it out.
Yeah.
There are certain parts we know that are just going to be hotter than hot. The road, there's no shade. A lot of Jersey like that when we go through New Jersey. But we actually do. So the first
That's
day,
unusual because normally people throw a lot of shade at New Jersey.
Yeah. You know what? I will be one of those people who will not, because New Jersey treats us like royalty.
Aw.
So the first day, obviously, is we go from Montauk Point to Ground Zero in Manhattan. We have a huge Ground Zero, obviously. I do it. Very long story short, I got hurt in a fire, destroyed my knee. I used to run marathons. And after many, many surgeries and a lot of replacements in the knee, the doctor finally said, listen, your running days are over. You can't run anymore. I recommend you take up cycling. So that's how I kind of got into it. And I lost my brother in the trade center. He was also a fireman in Brooklyn. So I was very lost, looking for something to do to honor him. And like a miracle from the sky, a message came over the teleprinter while I was in the firehouse one day talking about the FDNY 343 run. Totally thought up in Firehouse. It's an amazing, amazing group. There is, other than logistical stuff, there's no overhead for us. There are no officers. There are no office staff. Everything is inside the firehouse. All setups, all trainings, everything done in Firehouse by guys who are working on that shift. And that way, every dollar goes to veterans. So we raise money for injured veterans. We can do many, many things with the money. We've made custom back chairs. So it's basically a wheelchair on tank treads. And that way they could get back out hunting, stuff like
wow.
that.
Wow.
We made custom bikes for them, arm bikes, anything custom made to their specific injury. If they're missing an arm, we can set it up so it works with the other arm. If they're missing a leg, we can set it up so they can press the bike. In fact, we had 1 year, one of the bikes we made, we had the soldier come and ride the following year with his custom bike.
Wow.
We work very closely, which is our big thing, with Building Homes, which is another amazing organization where they will custom build a home to the needs of an injured veteran. And 2 years ago was an amazing, amazing ride. Instead of going from New York to Arlington, we started and ended in Connecticut. And it was our 343rd home that we had built. And it went to a member of the 343 ride, one of the soldiers who came back who was missing both his legs. And they built a custom home for him. He had no clue it was coming. We rode to the house and presented the house to him. So it was a very teary-eyed day. It really was. It was
I
amazing.
bet.
I'm like, sorry, the logistics guy in me is like, wait, like, how did he, like, what if he didn't want to live in that neighborhood?
Yeah. Well, that's always a problem. So
you live here now, but wait, my job is
in Connecticut. He was living in Virginia, so
Yeah.
it was some logistics to. Dad said, why don't you move back up north where we can be closer and stuff, and they convinced him to move up north. And he goes, we got to start looking for a home and stuff. And in the back of his head, he's going, yeah, home's already built. It's already
Gotcha,
built. So yeah, it was an amazing day. It had many, many amazing days. I have many, many incredible days because, as you can imagine, this is 150 New York City firemen, either active or retired, who what firemen like to do at night. So to watch guys,
Put out fires?
yeah, exactly. To watch guys celebrate every night in the parking lot of a hotel and then get on a bike the next day and ride 80 to 100 miles is quite an amazing feat.
Yeah. I feel like you guys need to, one of your things needs to be like IVs out there.
Yeah.
Lots of hydration.
At 20-minute stops, some people are eating, some people are peeing, some people are.
We've definitely had a steep learning curve from our first ride to now what will be our 25th ride this year with the 25th anniversary. the support team has learned a lot of what we can do and what we can't do. When we first started, the first ride was an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster. It poured the entire time.
Oh.
And when you ride a road bike in the rain, your tires pick up everything. So we were literally going through probably 10 to 15 tubes an hour all the way to Virginia. And it got to the point where they took one member of the support team and all he did was drive ahead to every bike shop he could find and buy every tube they had. And that's all it was. And we'd stop and fix the tube, and then we'd get started again. And over the years, we started to learn that, you know what, this starting and stopping thing it's just taking way too long. So now we have support trucks that ride in the rear also. And if you get a flat or a mechanical issue, they just pick you up. And you can sit in the back of the truck and fix it while we're moving. That way the whole ride doesn't stop.
Gotcha.
We also have the New York City Fire Riders Motorcycle Club comes with us every single year. And they're our protection. They ride, they block off every intersection. They ride next to us to make sure traffic doesn't get close to us. They are invaluable to us. Without them, the ride wouldn't happen. They're so important to the ride. And we've had a million, I won't say sponsors because they don't really, we're not getting money or anything from, but people who just want to come out and help, like Mission Barbecue comes out sometimes during the ride and feeds us. Help us out. We have massage companies who will come out some nights and just rub the guys down to help them relax a little bit. Just the overwhelming support. But like I said, New Jersey rolls out the red carpet for us. So the first day from Montauk Point to Ground Zero, we spend the night in Manhattan at Ground Zero. Then the next morning we ride over to Marine 3, where we get on the 343 and they take us over to New Jersey. So the bikes all get loaded on a truck, the truck drives around, and then we go over on the boat, and then we are greeted with open arms by New Jersey Fire Department and Police Department. We wind up at the dock there, we get off, they do a huge ceremony, and then we are police escorted entire state. We have, they let everyone know, we have schools who line up on the street to cheer us on as we come by. Just police, and people get out of our way. Like we don't need anyone to block intersections because they see the police come, they all pull over and they cheer for us. It's pretty wild.
That's so incredible.
Yeah.
How uplifting, especially the world is just so crazy right now. And it's not like it hasn't been before. There are lots of ups and downs. I'm sure it's just so wonderful to see coming together.
It is. It's an amazing thing to experience. And to date, the ride, so to be a member of the riding team, you have to raise money. So that's how we get our money. We sell T-shirts, we sell raffle tickets. We get a lot of stuff donated to raffle off. So we'll always raffle off like a big screen TV, tickets to a Yankee game. We do a whole night in Manhattan with a show and hotel, all stuff donated to us. So again, so much money that could be wasted on office expenses and CEOs. None of that stuff happens because it's all handled in the firehouse by guys who are working that shift that day. We sell thousands and thousands of T-shirts. A T-shirt just every year, so everyone has to have a T-shirt each year. We sell challenge coins, which are also really nice. And all that money gets raised. To date, we've raised over $2 million just from guys doing the ride and selling raffles and stuff. And sorry, that's my fire department thing going off.
Wait, somebody's house isn't burning down,
Yeah.
right?
So you guys are raising money. Where do people go? People are going to hear this. They're going to pitch in. They're going to want to help. Where do they go?
There's both a Facebook page and a website, FDNY343ride.com. There's a link to the button at the top says donate. You can go there. You can purchase challenge coins, donation, all through PayPal. You can buy T-shirts depending if there are some left. Obviously, we're much later in the season this year, so you might want to wait for the new shirt to come out next year. The ride is happening this year on the 13th and 14th. We never, ever interfere with 9/11, obviously.
So it starts on September 13th?
It's going to start on September 13th. I'm not sure. They're still working out the logistics, how long it's going to go. They have to figure out plans, routes, hotels to stay in. Sometimes we take ferries to get to places we need to be. There are big chunks we try to avoid. depending on what they find when they start making the route. So they'll make the route by actually driving it, and then they'll get to places like a couple years ago they started driving the route 5 days before the actual ride and found out they were resurfacing an entire highway that we had planned on using.
Oh no.
Everything shifted immediately that we can't be on this road anymore because there's no concrete to drive on. So yeah, a lot of things change last minute and can get pretty crazy with what we got to do. We sometimes we'll have to ride 20-30 miles out of the way to get around stuff, but it all works out in the end. But like I say, a logistical there every single time.
The project manager in me, I've got thoughts, man.
Yeah.
I've got thoughts.
And the lazy guy in me is like, wait, you take a different route every year? Like, once you get one that works, don't mess with it.
And they make the stops very challenging sometimes. We'll always have a Bloody Mary stop, which when you've ridden 60 miles, you're like, anything liquid sounds great. So you count 2 of them, and then you realize, oh wait, I got riding again. Surprisingly,
get a PUI.
Yeah,
pedaling under the influence.
Yeah, surprisingly, it is amazing what the human body can do. It really is. And I was very worried the first time I did it, but I had a lot of advice of things to do recovery wise with the death stick, rolling out your legs and stuff, and making sure you got plenty of good sleep and see a lot of fluids, which was very easy to do.
I'm sure you mean water.
Yeah,
always, yes.
That one counterproductive.
So that was one of the hard things when Mission Barbecue came. I had never experienced Mission Barbecue before because we don't have them up here in the Northeast. So I love food, and they came and they us one night and did an amazing ceremony about how, because their whole mission is veterans also. So they were a perfect fit to join us one year. And their food was so good. I just wanted to keep eating and eating and eating. I keep telling myself, you got to get on the bike tomorrow. You got to get on the bike tomorrow. Stop eating. I know it's good, but you have to.
It's problem.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And that's what I kept saying. I'm like, it's tomorrow's gym, but tomorrow, Jim, you have to ride another 800 miles. I did have one year where as we were coming down into DC, I could see the Capitol building. We were close to the end, and my seat snapped in half.
No.
Right there. I'm like, I ride the rest of this ride ending up now. Because it was just too close to stop.
Yeah.
If I stopped, that meant I wasn't going to ride into Arlington Cemetery, which I was definitely doing. There's no way I was riding in the back of a truck into Arlington Cemetery. So I'm like, yep, the last 10 miles standing up.
Wow. Do you guys have like a bunch of people waiting at the cemetery too? Like, are people there, or is it like a private
Obviously,
thing?
we can't just go into Arlington and go right to the site.
Sure.
Obviously, they have people. So yeah, we'll ride into the entrance where they'll have buses waiting for us that'll truck us over to the actual site. Of many pipers who are in the organization, so they'll meet us there ready to play for the ceremony and stuff, and we'll lay a wreath. And with the logistic nightmare of 343 miles, it got to a point where it just got to be too much every year. So we started doing it every other year and then every 3 years. So those other years, we'll just ride ground zero to Montauk. And then along the way, we'll stop at the 106th Rescue Wing, which is right here on Long Island. And we'll do a ceremony there with all the soldiers. Because we have a couple fire were also killed there. So we do a ceremony with them. They come out again, arms, so happy to have us. And we always try, we're always remembering the brothers who died. So every time along the way, we have names we read off of all the firemen who died. So we'll do 20 or 30 names each stop, so we can always remember them. And all those videos, obviously the Facebook page gets crazy during the ride. There's always broadcasting live, reading names or a stop, or, we're having dinner or ceremonies that we're doing. So the Facebook page is crazy during the ride. It's pretty dead the rest of the year because we're always planning and stuff. But the actual website is up all year. You can see past rides, past pictures, stuff like that. And during the ride, we also track where we are. We have a live tracker. So you can always, we're, coming into Manhattan now, so we should be closed. So if you want to come out and cheer us on, you can see exactly where we are. You don't have to stand outside for.
That's helpful. That's
Yeah.
helpful. And so have you guys where the proceeds are going this year?
We always have specific ones we always do. So one of them we always do is we always sponsor 3 dogs for America's Vet Dogs, which is an organization here on Long Island that trains service animals for veterans and first responders now. That was another great year. About 5 years ago, one of the sponsored was paired up with an active New York fireman. Really bad PTSD. He's a military member. So now the dog goes with him to the firehouse for his and stuff. Everyone knows him. So one of our dogs that we sponsored actually made it in. But every year we spoke with America's Vet Dogs. We always work with building homes for heroes. So a big chunk of that money always goes to them so we can continue to build houses and anything else anyone needs. We don't necessarily have to build a house, retrofit already live in, that they can use it to their abilities. So yeah, that's pretty much where the money goes at the time. There's always some, other thing that comes along. Someone needs this, someone needs that, and we're always there to out.
Well, that's awesome. That's just such a,
Like, it's an incredible.
And how long have you guys been doing it now? Did you say?
This will be a 25th year.
So
Wow.
like
We've
it
been doing it
started
since the
almost
year
instantly.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was literally, the guys were sitting around the kitchen table in the firehouse and were like, we want to do something to honor 9/11. What can we do? The captain, Mike Alex, the leader of the he goes, I have a crazy idea. Why don't we ride bicycles for 343 miles? And everyone looked at him like he had 6 heads. They're like, 340, are you out of your mind? And there it started. And they said, you know what, let's do it. And like I say, we took heavy punches the first year. It was really, really hard the first year. The first year we even had a veteran with an arm bike who did it the whole way on an arm bike.
Oh,
Yeah, just
that's
crazy.
stunning. Whoa.
Yeah, it's amazing what willpower will, because they were like, we're not stopping. We're going to make it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. So before we let you go, remind everybody where they can go to check it out, to donate money, be supportive.
Yeah, so the website is www.fdny343ride.com. Same for the Facebook page, FDNY343ride. And there's a donate button at the top of the website. You can just go there, and PayPal takes your money, no problem.
And Jim, what's your leaderboard name?
Yeah, I was going to ask that too.
My leaderboard name is Big Jim F _ in between each word. Yeah.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing all of this and for all that you have done, the firefighting, the raising money. Like that's incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Anything else, Tom?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. Thank you again,
Thank you so much.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Clip out.
So I guess that brings this episode to a close. Until next week, where can people find you?
People can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Crystal D. O'Keefe. They can find me on Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, and the Peloton leaderboard at Clip Out Crystal.
And you can find me on Threads and Blue Sky at Tom O'Keefe Jr. or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. You can find the show online at facebook.com/The Clip Out. While you're there, like the page, join the group, and of course, don't forget our Patreon. All sorts of bonus content, ad-free episodes, early episodes. A little bit extra. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, keep pedaling
And running.
and rolling.
Bye.